My article was on Tim Tebow and the polarizing effects that he had as a sports player and a religious figure. It was from the New York Times, and a lot of the criticism was distinguishing between whether he was a good football player and whether you could criticize him at all. If by criticizing his football play, were you criticizing his Christianity and his Christian beliefs? He became a sensation, a polarizing figure. Either like you loved his overly Christian expression or you hated it, and it was very hard to separate the criticism of his football play, since to a lot of analysts he wasn't a good football player, and his religious effect on the public.
All right, my article was Baseball as a Road to God by Jonathan Sexton. He was a professor at NYU, and he wrote a book and he taught a class of the same name. And he compares kind of the feelings like associated with religion and baseball. And he says that the feeling that some get at Mass is like the same feeling that some get at a baseball game. And so he really focused on like awareness and community, and basically just talked about how being reflective and contemplative and experiencing your life and focusing on those experiences can happen through religion and baseball.
My article was about religion and soccer. It was written by Hannah Fisher, and she paralleled the similarities between soccer and religion. She said that that you could see soccer matches as kind of like a ritual where all the fans celebrate together and sing songs the whole time. And she drew upon how soccer has similar powers as religion had. She actually cited that people like Hitler used religion to control people, just like how soccer kind of controls people. And she detailed how soccer has their own legal system that they've actually used to deport players from countries for committing ridiculous fouls.
The article I chose for this Wikipedia project is Football and Religion, the Odd Relationship Between God and the Gridiron by Mark Edmondson. In this article, Edmondson talks about how as a youth football player he used to pray to God before every game. As he got older and went to high school, he also prayed before every game. And then over the years, as he went to his son's high school games, his college buddies' high school games, and then professional games and other college games, he saw people praying before games, during games, and after games. And then he brings up this odd relationship between America being a pacifist country because our Christian heritage talks about turning the other cheek, as football is super violent and it's not turning the other cheek.
I did my article on the correlation between the Olympics and its relation to God. In the early age of the 5th century BC, the Olympic Games were performed as professing their athletic abilities for a god. Each athlete would pick their patron god and they would do their athletics. And once they won, if they won, they would receive olive leaves, and that would be from the Garden of Zeus, which was also religious. And that correlates in today's religious aspect, as individuals are now still working for God and feeling that they are performing their athletic abilities for God.
My article was by Rory Shiner, and it's about how Christianity can look at sports as a model for growth. So he lives in Australia, where Christianity is really sort of receding into the background of cultural relevance. And when his son came home and asked to play lacrosse, he had to look it up and see even what it was before they got involved. And once he was involved, it meant the kid had to be at practice and the parents had to volunteer at games, and it was a lot of commitment, but it was really rewarding because the community was really supportive of everyone else in it. So it was about how Christianity can take the model of lacrosse, which is sort of a fringe sport, and grow through that sort of model of commitment.
Awesome.